Hello, everybody. This is Gabriel with Divya Stone's Crystal Casting Divination Readings. Welcome. This is your week ahead reading for the week of July 5th. So I just want to explain really quick how I do this in case you haven't tuned in before. I have this custom divination board. I use the energy of the crystals and stones. We select a few randomly, scatter them on the board. I'll combine the energy of the stones with the symbols where they land and those meanings. And those are the messages. This is a collective reading. So we're asking Spirit to show us what do we need to know right now for the collective. And then each person who is tuning in will apply these messages and these energies to their life where it fits for them. So in a way, it's an individual reading, but it's also collective, what's going on. So that's our question. I do know that we have Mercury in retrograde right now in Cancer. So that's something that's going on astrologically, and we'll see how the energies play in here for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and randomly draw the stones out of this bag, and we'll see what we're working with for this week. Let's see, I'm going to choose 3 stones and a guide stone. So the first stone is carnelian. The second one is sodalite. And the third one is citrine. Okay, let's put those back. So Spirit knows that this is a week of July 5th reading. So we're going to just randomly ask the stones to guide us to the perfect messages. And I'm going to pull the guide stone. That one goes in the middle on the eye, which I'll show you in a moment. Very good. Amethyst. So I am going to switch now so that you can see the board, and we'll dive right into our reading. Okay, let's dive into the reading here. I always start with the guide stone. That's the one in the middle on the eye. The eye represents the ethereal realm where all of your guides, ancestors, and helping spirits, kind of your spirit team. So the guide stone is amethyst, and guide stone means just kind of your overarching energy for this week. Okay. So amethyst has many wonderful qualities. It is a master healer. So anything that you're working on, healing, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, mental health, it's a good time to be focusing on that. It's very cleansing. It's protective. It connects us with higher consciousness. And it is a stone that really helps us bring visualization into manifestation. So what we're dealing with here is really focusing on your vision. Okay. It is a third eye chakra stone. So we're talking about inner vision and outer vision. So not only does it help us turn inward and see what we need to see within, but it also helps us with our outward vision. What are we projecting into the world, as well as what are we trying to manifest? What is our vision for our life? What do we want to experience? What energies, what experiences, what circumstances, that sort of thing. So really focus on your vision right now. If you're not clear on what that is, sit with it. Take some time to get clear on what is your vision? What are you working towards? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? And then once you have that vision kind of locked in, you can use that to make good decisions, right? Is this thing going to get me closer to my vision, or is it going to pull me away? So we're going to be focusing on vision, healing, spiritual connection, and just kind of cleansing, like moving away from the things that are not helping us and not getting closer to our goals and our vision. Okay. So let me see where I want to start here, since I already mentioned manifestation, bringing that vision into manifestation. I'm going to start with citrine because it is a stone of manifestation. It brings success. It's about new beginnings. It's very much about personal power, stepping into that power so that we can manifest what we want, and really trusting, activating that courage, right? And trusting in our own light, our own inner light, our own wisdom, our own confidence. And it's also a stone of imagination, right? It helps us to come up with new ideas, and how do we really shine our light? So we've got this in two different places. This section here is kind of your purpose and expression section. It can have to do with your livelihood as well. This down here is your kind of your family / timeline section, old family patterns that are still influencing us, etc. And so there's a connection here. This could be kind of what's holding you back from really manifesting what you want. Okay, so let's look at the spinning wheel first. The spinning wheel, it often has to do with your livelihood and your career. It does symbolize a time of productivity. So now's a really good time to really dive into the work, right? If you have action steps that are going to get you towards your vision, now is the time. Really kind of discipline yourself a little bit and really say, no, I'm going to dedicate some time and focus to getting the productivity going. And it is also a time to kind of contemplate your place in the world as far as your purpose goes, right? So we are looking at, again, in alignment with that vision, really figuring out, what am I doing, right? You can't really manifest well if you're not clear on what you're manifesting. So once you have the clarity, then go into that productivity mode, okay? But definitely take some time to really think about, what is my place? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Then down here in the your timeline, your family section, we landed on the hourglass. The hourglass represents your past, things from your past, and kind of reconciling your past with your present, okay? And that's why I said this could be what's holding you back. What old messages are you holding on to that are keeping you from being in the present moment, being in that personal power that citrine brings, and really moving forward? So we want to focus on what's in the way because we want to move it, and then we can move forward again. So this is to bring you into the present so you can live in the present moment. I want you to think about beliefs here. Okay. That's what's coming to me. Beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. Imposter syndrome, right? Who am I? Who am I to think that I can do this wonderful thing and manifest this in the world, right? And that's from your past. Those are old messages. Those don't belong anymore. They're not worthy of you. You're so much greater than that. So what past beliefs, messages are holding you back from being fully present and focused on your vision and getting into that productivity mode so you can really manifest? Okay. So that's something to focus on this week. And then I'm going to go over here to this carnelian because it's on this open hand. Okay. Your other carnelian is in your relationship section, and it's near your emotional expression symbol. And this is your personal growth section, as well as, personal attributes, kind of like your personality traits, your gifts, things like that. And the reason I'm jumping over here is because carnelian is a stone of high creativity and birthing what wants to come through you. And that has to do with what you're manifesting in your life. Lo and behold, the open hand here symbolizes your gifts. It's an open hand because it's what you're giving to the world, right? So this is your innate gifts, your talents, your skills, your passions, your purpose. What are you meant to gift this world while you're here, right? And so this is really tapping into that creativity, that energy of your uniqueness and what's getting birthed through you. And spirit is really like, yeah, it's time to really make a push in that direction so that you can really bring that forward. Carnelian helps to bring success as well. It's a very positive energy, right? It helps you make positive life choices and bring about that success. All right. So that's all tied together. And you're going to be also experiencing some bigger emotions this week. Okay. This is your relationship section. And this symbol is the drama masks, comedy tragedy. And this has a lot to do with your emotions and how you express them in your relationships. Okay. So this is about releasing old blame, shame around relationship stuff. It's about allowing others to have their feelings and validating that while at the same time, really knowing that it's okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay. All right. And how are you expressing that? This is also really about safety. So this is not a time for you to just full out express some big emotion in some complicated relationship in your life without that safety. If you don't have that container of safety, this is not a time to address that. That probably goes along with that Mercury retrograding Cancer, which has to do with family. So this is going to trigger some of that past family stuff down here with that hourglass. So this is, don't just go all out with it this week, okay? Yes, you want to express your emotions, but you want to do it in a way that is going to be successful, that's going to feel safe, all of those things. If you don't have that, maybe now's not the time, okay? So let's go over here to our sodalite. Sodalite, I love sodalite. It is a stone of expression. It's a throat chakra stone. So it really does help to express ourselves, not just with our voices and what we need to say, but also express creatively. How do you express in the world? Do you write? Do you do art? Do you dance? What is your creative expression that wants to come forward here too? And this is also a stone of deep peace, right? It brings a sense of peace. It helps to relax the nervous system, brings self-acceptance and self-trust and harmony into your life. So this is a very soothing energy. One of them, again, is in your personal growth and attributes, and the other one is in your material world. Material world having to do with money, resources, everything you can kind of see and touch, and also your relationship to that. So we're being asked to kind of look at our relationship to our resources here in a big way, because this symbol with the open hands is a symbol of, first of all, receiving abundance, right? Trusting that the universe and spirit are always bringing you what you need. And a lot of us are lacking this trust, right? Our relationship to our abundance is not always healthy. We get into this fear, we get into this scarcity mindset, the lack and limitation. And, we have to be practical and live our lives in a practical way. And we also have to remember, what is our true source for our abundance? Okay. So Spirit is asking us to give ourselves more peace and relaxation, to release the fear around money, release the fear around where it's going to come from, and have a little bit more faith and trust in source energy here, bringing your prosperity consciousness up a notch and remembering that you deserve good things. You deserve abundance. You deserve to have ease and and a sense of well-being, right? Which is where the sodalite comes in. And this is in the mind, right? This is in the belief system. So work on that prosperity consciousness this week, and kind of check in with yourself. Where are you with that, right? Now, the other sodalite here is on the elephant head. This is just a very stylized elephant head in your personal growth and personal evolution section. And the elephant represents your strengths, your confidence, your leadership, and also what you need to remember about yourself. Elephants never forget, right? So this is about remembering. What have you forgotten about yourself that you need to bring back? Dig a little deeper. Find that place within you that does trust, that does know the truth about your self-worth, especially when it comes to your resources and what you deserve and your openness to receiving. So this would be a great time to bring deeper peace into your life around this, to conjure up in your memory times when things came together for you. Maybe you were in a tight spot. Maybe you were in fear and you were like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to make this work, right? And somehow, some way, something happened. Somebody showed up with the resources. You got that job that you were really needing. There was some reprieve for you financially. So when we remember the times that Spirit showed up for us, it helps to reinforce our faith and our trust that Spirit will do it again. So remember that and focus on that rather than the problem, the stress, the lack, wherever you feel limited. Okay. So that's the focus for this week. Really hone in on that vision, step into that power, be mindful of your communication. Definitely good idea in any Mercury retrograde, but especially in Cancer, because we've got old emotional stuff and family stuff that might get stirred up there. But that's it. That's your reading for this week. And I hope that that was very helpful, very insightful. Apply it to your life as it fits. And if something doesn't seem to fit right away, just kind of notice throughout the week. Maybe it'll show up later on, down towards the weekend, if it's not showing up right now. All right. All right. Thank you for tuning in once again for your week ahead reading for the week of July the 5th. This is Kai. This is Divya Stones. And just a reminder, I do private readings. I can do them on Zoom or via phone. You still choose the crystals. I'll send you an image of the crystals. You choose the crystals. The only difference from being in person is that I have to scatter the stones, but I do it on your behalf. And it's a really wonderful way to get an in-depth reading on what's going on with you, some insights, some spiritual guidance. Please check out the link in my bio. Follow my YouTube channel and my other socials, and share. And feedback is wonderful. I love your comments. And I'm going to start doing some themed readings. So if you have suggestions on themes that you would like a reading on, please let me know. And I am just so very, very honored to be here and to be with you. I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. And just remember, keep shining your light. You are perfectly capable and you are all deserving. So I'm signing off for now until the midweek reading on Wednesday, which is a really quick 3-minute reading. Tune into that, and just for a little boost in the middle of the week. All right. Love you guys. Have a good one.